Hi there, this is a series of videos for the NRECA group who attended my InDesign seminar in Tampa, and I just wanted to review some of the highlights of that time together. I'm going to kind of do this in short segments, like 10 minutes or under, so you don't have to spend a lot of time, and I'll label up what's covered in each one. So the first thing I want to cover here is setting up some preferences in InDesign. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the upper right, and I'm going to change my workspace over here to typography, and I'm going to talk about resetting that. So I'm going to go to typography, I'm going to do a reset, I'm going to change my toolbar on the left here to 2 columns wide. And one of the things I want you to do is to go into preferences. Now I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go under InDesign to preferences. If you're on Windows, just go to InDesign and come all the way down to preferences. And we're going to take a look at interface. Just as a reminder, you can change the color of the interface as you work on it. And this is pretty typical of all the new Adobe programs. And I also want you to click OK. Now, the first thing is to set up a document that make it so every time I start up InDesign, it starts up with the same workspace, measurement system, default font size, default color swatches. I'm going to turn on display performance so it always is on high. I'm going to load in some paragraph styles, and I'm going to load in some character styles so that I always have these in my brand new documents. That way I don't have to keep changing things or bringing things in as I build documents. I'm just going to bring in some core items. You have to do this without any documents open. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my preferences, and you're going to go under edit to preferences if you're on Windows. You're going to go under the InDesign menu if you're on the Mac, and I'm going to come over here to units and increments. I'm going to switch these over to inches, both vertical and horizontal ruler, and I'm also going to change over here on the left display performance. I'm going to always set it up for high quality. That way it's always going to give me the highest quality when I work in my projects. This is again from the new documents forward, not any old or legacy documents. Any new documents forward would default to these settings. So I'm going to click OK. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the type tool, and I'm going to say I want to change my font over here to a default font. I'm going to click on the character up here so I can find the font I want to change it to. So for instance, let me say I'm going to change it to how about Bookman. So I'm going to come down here to BOOO Bookman, and of course the one I pick is not there. So let's go ahead and pick a different font. How about Baskerville? And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change I'm going to make sure my default font is 12 and my lettings on automatic at this point 14.4. So that's going to be my default font. Default colors, I'm going to come over here in my swatches panel, and what it has by default is the basic cyan, magenta, and CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and also RGB. And this particular one looks like it has an extra one here, so I'm going to remove this extra one. If I'm going to load up fonts, or color swatches that I work on frequently, all you got to do is, just as a reminder, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pick load swatches. Then I'm going to go out and I'm going to find a document on my machine that contains the files or the swatches that I work with frequently. So let me go out here. So I'm going to go to my pop-up menu on swatches, and I'm going to find a document that contains the swatches I frequently use. So I'm going to pick load swatches. For me, I'm just going to go to my NERC folder, and I'm going to locate, we'll say 8N. And I know that's a chapter on color in the book that you were provided with. So I'm just going to bring those colors in from that document. So consequently, I have a folder here of colors called Art Show. I have a lavender white, and I have those items added. Now I'm going to move paper up here, up in the list. So that just showed me how I can add colors from another document. If I don't want lavender white as one of my base colors, I'll just click delete. So that took care of that. Let's come down to paragraph styles. I'm going to go over here and pop out menu. I'm going to go over here to load all text styles, which means both character and paragraph. And I'm going to pick a document, of course, in my training, our NREC training folder. I'm going to go to lesson 9 because that was the chapter basically on styles. So I'm just going to pick 9N, and it's going to have some styles I can pick from here. So this window can be moved and also can be made bigger. The little paragraph symbols here denote paragraph styles, and the A denotes character styles. So I'm not going to ever bring in basic paragraph because somebody may have modified that and I don't want it changing on my document. So I'm going to say, I'm going to uncheck all. I'm going to say I always want to have head 1 and head 2. I always want to use my body text here, intro body. I always want to have the character style of italic, drop cap, and that's sufficient. So I'm going to click OK. So now that brings in the character and paragraph styles that I want to have as my default. Pretty easy. I'm going to go here and see if there's anything else I want to have right now. I don't think so. This is the workspace I like. I think I'm going to modify this a little bit. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go under Object and Layout and add a line in Pathfinder. I'm going to add the critical panel that always should be there. I'm not sure why Adobe doesn't include it, of links. I'm going to put that over there. So there's my core situation. I'm going to set my default colors over here back to no fill and stroke of black. Let's see here. I think I'm all set. Pick on my arrow. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go up and I'm going to go under InDesign and quit InDesign. If you're on Windows, you go under File to exit. And these changes are now written to the new preference file so that when InDesign starts up, it's going to default to those parameters. So I don't have to keep changing my font when I make a new text frame, and my base colors are there, my base styles are there, my measurement system is in inches, my workspace is all set up. So I don't have to monkey around doing that every time I start a new document. So I can click New, and I'm going to click OK to this print document here. Let me go under Print, Letter, and sure enough, my font is Baskerville. The size, my rulers in inches, my swatches have my base colors, my paragraph styles are looking beautiful, my character styles are even more beautiful, my display performance is already set to high quality. This is living right now. So this shows you how to set up the preferences for every new document you start forward will have these base items. And I think that's going to conclude the first of the NRECA review videos.